Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order our meeting today for the Allegheny County Board of Education, Tuesday, February 10th at 5:01 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Llewellyn will read closed session summaries for executive sessions held on January 13th.
The Allegheny County Board of Education met in closed session on January 13th, 2026 at 3:05 p.m. here at the central office. All board members were present and the vote to go into closed session was unanimous. The topics discussed at closed session were appeal to the board and appointment of acting assistant principal.
Thank you, Mr. Llewellyn. This time we will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Green, a second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Lepley. Any questions, comments, concerns? All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Thank you. We have a few proclamations to present this evening. And first, Mrs. Lepley will have present a proclamation recognizing February as African American History Month, and Dr. Sarah Welsh will be accepting it. Okay.
February 2026 has been designated African American History Month, and the Board of Education of Allegheny County is honored to present this proclamation to the Allegheny Chapter 7007 of the NAACP.
Thank you. So good evening, Dr. Martirano, President Bender, members of the board. Ms. Tiffany Fisher was not available this evening from the branch, so I will make sure that she is in receipt of this, and we appreciate the acknowledgement.
Thank you. And you can just stay put another moment. Mr. Green has a recognition for National School Counselor Week.
Good evening. Tonight I'm proud to recognize National School Counselor Week, observed February 2nd through the 6th, under the theme School Counselors Amplify Student Success. Our school counselors play an essential role in the lives of students every single day. They help students set goals, navigate challenges, explore their strengths and interests, and plan for their futures, academically, socially, and emotionally. They are also trusted partners for families and educators, working collaboratively to support student growth, strengthen school communities, and ensure our counseling programs align with school goals. Just as importantly, counselors help create safe environments where students learn how to communicate respectfully and feel supported. On behalf of the Board of Education, I want to express our sincere gratitude to our school counselors across Allegheny County for their professionalism, compassion, and commitment to student success. We're grateful for the work you do and the difference you make every day. And with that, I will share with you, Dr.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much to the Board of Education for this meaningful proclamation recognizing School Counselor Month. We truly appreciate your support and acknowledgement of the important work that the school counselors do every day to support students' academic growth, well-being, and future success. On behalf of our school counselors, thank you for this recognition and your continued commitment to the great work that they do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Walsh. And now we have one more proclamation. If Mr. King would come forward, Dr. Bond has one recognizing February as Career and Technical Education Month.
Well, Mr. King, it's an honor to present this to the Career Center because, as you know, my whole time up here, I've always been about the Career Center. And this month is, it's kind of one of my special projects. Anyway, our Career and Technical Education Center does a fantastic job, and as a board, we're grateful for the way that you work towards preparing students for fulfilling careers and providing our workforce with technical education programs that lead to people who are qualified and ready to take on those positions. So with that in mind, we have declared this proclamation of the month for honoring our Career Center. So we appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Martirano and members of the Board of Education, thank you for recognizing Dr. Martirano
And members of the Board of Education, thank you for recognizing the Career Center during CCTE month in February. We have a lot going on at the Career Center right now. We have recruiting that has started for next year's junior class. We're accepting applications. Applications went out to those 10th graders last week, so we expect to be starting to receive some of those here in the next week. Next Thursday, February 19th, from 4 to 6 p.m. is our open house, annual open house at the Career Center. So if you just want to come and see what the Career Center has, or if you're actually have a child that wants to come and possibly come to the Career Center next year, it's a good opportunity for you to come and check out what we have. Additionally, we have thoughts of expanding some of our programs here in the next couple of years, so that process has started, and we're trying to put that information together. So the Career Center has a lot to offer, and if you're interested, please stop out and see us. Thank you, everybody.
Mr. King, one quick question for you. I know that the skills competition was overcome by all of the wonderful weather we've been having lately.
Yes, yes.
Are we still sending some students to the statewide skills competition?
We will be sending some students to the state competition.
Great.
Which is in early April.
Great.
Right now, the 3 counties, Garrett County didn't have many competitors, but Washington, Frederick, and Allegany were determining, are there some students that can go straight to the competition
Great.
for the state competition, or do we still have to have some of those small competitions to determine who will go to the state?
Great.
So as soon as I know that information, I will put that out.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to it, and good luck to those students. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. King. Okay, Mr. McKenzie will come forward now to present the fiscal year 27 draft budget priorities and discuss state aid.
There we go. So this evening, it's kind of the kickoff of a budget season, and you know, we've been starting that work already within the office. But one of the things we always do is to bring forward our some draft budget priorities for your review. As you're aware, these are the backbone of the budget that we develop. And so as you can see, staffing and compensation obviously rises right to the top in terms of funding raises, healthcare benefits for employees, and evaluating position allocation to support teaching and learning. Certainly ongoing investment in instruction, the reading and math programs, summer programs, credit recovery programs, all those programs that continue to fill in the gaps for left from COVID to catch our kids up, as well as the high quality instruction across all subjects and grade levels. Safe and supportive learning environments, ensuring that social, emotional, safety, and mental health needs are met for our students. Wouldn't be a budget presentation without mentioning Blueprint. Obviously, the continuation and implementation of the Blueprint for Maryland's future, implementing that with fidelity as we continue on this journey. And something new that's been added this year for consideration are operational efficiencies. They've always kind of been in the background, but we wanted to pull them also out to the front. Operating the school system effectively and efficiently with an eye towards continuous improvement and accountability. So those are for your consideration this evening, potentially to adopt. Does anyone have any questions, any changes, those types of things? Okay. Okay. Moving on. At the end of last month, we received our initial draft state aid numbers. And, you know, one of the things I would always caution is, again, because sometimes whenever I give folks numbers, that becomes the gospel. And I just want to be very, very clear. These are draft numbers at this particular point in time, and what they represent is current law rolled forward. So any changes relative to the legislative session that's ongoing wouldn't be in these numbers. So again, these are draft numbers at this point. And we're also, so as we talk about state aid categories, you'll see that we have several. Foundation programs are more of it's a traditional, every student gets a certain appropriation. Transportation, obviously we receive grants for transportation, as well as an additional proportion for transporting students with special need. Compensatory education represents what used to be free and reduced meal students, and kind of lifting the impoverished students up. As you're aware, we are one of the districts that offer CEP, so all of our students eat breakfast and lunch and get that free every day. Next, we have multilingual learners, and for these students, we receive funding. We have 48. We receive funding. They are students with English as a second language. Special education, of course, is students with special needs, so we receive funding for them as well. Guaranteed tax base, it's more so, we're one of 8 districts that receive that, and it's more so based upon our economic climate. And then we get into some of the Blueprint grants. We have Blueprint Transition Grant. It's relatively small at this point. It's a little over $5,000. College and career readiness, obviously that's critical within the Blueprint, as well as concentration of poverty. We did see a substantial increase in concentration of poverty funding. Of course, we received funding for a Blueprint coordinator, as well as the continued focus on rolling out pre-K and improving our offerings for pre-K students. And of course, the teacher salary career ladder, as we've discussed in the past. So several of those funding sources are impacted by wealth. And again, just to kind of give you a crash course again in wealth and what wealth represents, it's the measure of wealth is 50% of personal property, 100% of net taxable income, and 40% of real property. That's what makes up wealth relative to the measure for school systems. And it's intended to be an equalizer, so between local governments and state governments and how they're funding education. So as a district becomes more wealthy, the expectation is county governments would provide more of the resources to run the school systems. We are actually 22nd in wealth, so we receive quite a bit of our funding from the state. Now, what's kind of unique with wealth, and as we kind of talk about, like every district within the state, their wealth went up this year. So even though our wealth went up relative to the state average, we were a little bit poorer. So as a result, we received a little bit more money. So as I mentioned, can you just go back? So as I mentioned, we were 22nd in terms of per pupil wealth. One of the things that I also wanted to mention is not only is state aid determined by wealth, state participation in capital project is also determined by wealth. So currently, we receive 89% of our funding for state capital projects from the state, 11% locally. That will change in '27 to a 95-5 split. So that should be beneficial for the county and the district as we continue to look forward for additional capital projects. Okay, so as I mentioned, in terms of the impact of state aid, you know, it's wealth on a per pupil basis. So whenever you put things into a per pupil basis, you're talking about enrollment as well. So you can see that as a district, we did see a decline of 40 students, or a 0.52% enrollment decline. The state average went down 0.87 of 1%. So we lost less students, which is kind of unusual for us. Usually the state is adding a net addition for students, so that was a little bit unique this year. The other couple other point outs for our enrollment, we had a decrease of 69 students relative to free and reduced meals. Again, we do get, our students do receive a free lunch and a free breakfast. The state average decreased by 1.74%. So again, the state went down a little bit quicker than we did. And then lastly, special ed students, we did increase by 40, so we're up to 1,502 special ed students, and that represents almost 20% of our enrollment. Just so you know too, from an enrollment, we talked about the decline in state enrollment. Actually, there were only 3 of the 24 districts that showed an enrollment increase this year. So what you have before you, go ahead and back up. So this represents the different components of state aid. We kind of talked about what types of aid there were. So you can see that we're looking at an increase of almost $5 million from the state. Again, this is just draft. I just want to keep pointing that out. But if this were to hold true and there weren't any changes within the legislative process, this would be the increase we would be looking at. So almost 4.3% increase this year compared to last year. Now, the other thing you need to kind of keep in mind, though, is of that $4.9 million, there are certain restrictions within that. So certain pockets of money can only be spent for certain things. So it's just important to kind of realize that as well. So, you know, some of the things that, as we look at, you can go ahead and move it forward, that kind of some additional budget considerations, you know, some of the things that kind of keep me up at night, worrying about certain things. You know, obviously, as I'd mentioned, you never quite know what's going to happen with the legislative session. It's been pretty calm, I think, so far this year. Certainly, you know, other budget considerations. We do have negotiations ongoing with all 4 bargaining units. As we've talked throughout the year, healthcare claims have been up compared to prior years, so that's an ongoing concern. And I think that's something that many districts are dealing with as well. You know, as I mentioned, PZAM and MABE monitor several bills that could have an impact on the district's finances as we move forward. As well as, you know, certainly one of the things that's also would want to add that's not up there, you know, the impact of federal decisions as well relative to the title programs as well as special ed. So, does anyone have any questions?
Any questions for Mr. McKenzie? Well, you were so thorough. Good questions. Good job.
Thank
and we'll
you.
vote on the draft priorities under new business. Thank you, Mr. McKenzie. Okay, at this time, we will move into public comment. Just a reminder to those signed up to speak, we do ask that you limit your comments to 5 minutes. Topics that are excluded are individual personal issues, comments identifying individual students or staff members, matters that are open or that are on open appeal or may be appealed, topics for which the board schedules formal public hearings, or advertising or solicitation for products or services. And first up, we have Mr. Taylor.
Okay, good evening, Board of Education. My name's Ed Taylor, Jr. For the record, I'm president of the Cumberland Historic Cemetery Organization, and I'm here with some questions and concerns. One of the facets of the Cumberland Historic Cemetery Organization over the many decades that we provide, with decent weather that is, we provide guided history tours to the public of our historic cemeteries and our monuments that we've put down. Since 1983, we have over 900 monuments. They're in cemeteries from Florida to northern Pennsylvania, but most of these historic monuments are right here in Cumberland, Maryland. And people find us through the internet, tourism office, et cetera. They call us, they set tours up, and they're free for the public. And what has amazed me personally and some of our tour guides is the lack of American history knowledge of American adults. Mainly people that come from out of the area, higher income level areas, education with doctorates and master's degrees. I am astounded at the American history that they simply do not know. They might be experts in their field. They don't know the precepts of the Revolution, the Civil War. When we give the tour, say for example, we're giving a tour to two 40-year-olds that come in here from down in the DC area. I just assume they know X, Y, and Z, like I'm sure you all would. And I start talking about things, and you can see the utter look of confusion on their face. They don't have a clue what I'm talking about. Many times I have to go back to elementary era education for history and fill them in on stuff, and I am astounded what they don't know. Now, that wouldn't necessarily be your fault. That's a nationwide type of thing, and that's been getting worse and worse all the time. When I was in the public school system in the early 70s, I was in elementary school at LaVale School. That building's not even there. And in the 4th grade, for many years, they had the Maryland program. I still have the old book, Maryland, My Maryland. I used it for my kids when they were young. They're 26 and 24 now. They know their history better than most of their peers. That's due to the cemetery organization. I will say that the county public schools did their part, but I did a lot better job in teaching them than the school system. But anyhow, for example, do our 4th graders have that program today? Do they study about the Calvert family back to 1634 and so forth? Are they getting that education here in Allegany County? Do you all know?
We're working on that. We're working on our elementary social studies.
Okay, so I take it that you're not studying the Maryland program? Seems to me it would be a yes or no answer. Well,
there's local history infused, yes.
Okay, well, we're going to look into this because, I mean, I'm confused by that answer. That really doesn't clarify anything to me. In my opinion, they should have that textbook. Get the old textbook from 1938, which, really covers the state history of Maryland. It's, fact, black and white, and it tells you, what it is. That not giving a clear answer is kind of unacceptable to us. The second half of what I want to say, you all have our newsletter that just came out last Thursday. This is our yearly program of our events. And with this year being the great year of the 250th anniversary of our great nation, we are trying to promote our tours more than we've ever have. Years ago, we've always given school tours to the public school system from the 1980s to about whenever Dr. David Cox got here and stopped that as superintendent. And we want to try to start that up. We're going to be sending a cover letter to every school in Allegany County to the principal, and with a copy of this newsletter, inviting them to take the free tour. I would hope as board members you would encourage the principals to do that. West Side School, for example, which is in 2 blocks of our headquarters, the oldest standing structures in Allegany County are right in front of our headquarters, the 1801 columns to the Rose Hill Mansion, which was Revolutionary War Captain David Lynn's estate. The kids could walk there. They learned about the history right in their own neighborhood, and then we went over to Rose Hill and St. Peter and Paul. Those are the two cemeteries that we are promoting because those are the two sites that have most of the history. It covers history from the Revolution to current day, and our monuments mark the graves of these patriots and so forth. The children always loved the tours. The teachers, after they got over there and they saw what we had to offer, they enjoyed them. And the tours are free. They don't cost anything. If any of the other schools that are not in walking distance, they can bus the kids in. There's plenty of room to turn a full-size bus around right in front of St. Peter and Paul Cemetery. And we work with the schools. They call us, arrange a day and time, and it's always worked out fine. As I said, we haven't done that it's been almost 10 years, I guess, but we want to start that up. And I do hope you all will encourage the principals to take these tours because you don't have too many people coming here offering anything for free this day and age. And it's a great educational opportunity for the students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Next, we have Mr. Broadwater.
Hi, good afternoon, School Board. Name is Justin Broadwater. I'm a new resident, just transplanted out of Berlin, Somerset County. Had a small business, and it was a choice of live in the RV still or transplant down here because I do have a business. It's a wedding venue. So for me, when we transplanted down, it was in the Christmas break. It was the best time. Your staff at every school between Mount Savage pre-K program, the Cache Valley Elementary, kindergarten, and Braddock Middle School, phenomenal. You guys are setting a new standard at, I think, all schools. As a military guy, I've been all over the country, so I see some good schools. Mount Savage's drop-off and pickup, wow, I'm just stunned. It is amazing. It's definitely the standard. To the other side of that, as I pick up and drop off every day at Braddock, it's a nightmare. I think something that maybe needs to be done in the community is talking to the city of Cumberland and saying, hey, anybody going north on Franklin Street, it should be a one-way street up from Columbia all the way up. I don't know if any of you have driven that. Between 740 and 240, it's a nightmare. Like today, the railroad tracks, it's just an accident waiting to happen. It really is, whether it's the kids or the drivers. And Holland Street needs to be a one-way the other direction. I mean, it's a simple thing. I've seen it in other communities. I definitely think that would favor the residents as well. The other thing that I want to talk about is the school delays and the cancellations. Somerset County, it was always a joke. Oh, you moved to Maryland, you're never going to have school. I mean, it was crazy. So as a retired guy who stayed home, I can manage. I got my 3 kids, they're okay. But I'm not a teacher. I cannot do FID days 4 or 5 days in a row. I don't see the financial capabilities of other parents of having to drop them off at daycares or child cares, pickups, drop-offs early. It's a nightmare. For myself, a side job, I've had to miss work. Extra food in the house. Kids eat a lot of food. My goodness. It's bad enough on a weekend, let alone school days. And then the other thing is, what are the other families doing for heat? Maybe that's where they're getting warmth is the school, and here we are saying stay at home longer. It's something I think we need to look at a little bit more serious and saying, hey, we see it's 8 degrees. Let's get them on the bus quickly. Let's make sure the bus is warm. Get them to school where they're warm and fed and taken care of all day. Versus driving out at 12 o'clock and seeing 30 kids on the hill sled riding. Safe enough to sled ride, but not safe enough to be at school. So that's it. Again, phenomenal school district, though. I'm really proud. I'm really happy we come out of Berlin. It was a great one, but wow, we're blessed to be here. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Broadwater. And I'm told we have one more person that wishes to speak but is not on my list. Is there anybody else?
Yes, I do.
Yep, go ahead. You can go up to the mic. Just make sure it's lit up red so you're good to go.
Okay. Hello, I used to be a resident of Allegany County. I grew up here in Allegany County. My name is Kimberly Jones. I have a problem that I've been dealing with for a while and wasn't quite sure what was going on until recently when I went back for workforce training at 62 years of age. I'm now 64. And I was offered a position. I attained a 98.7 on the internals score for the class that I took. It's called Central Sterile Processing Technician. And I achieved that. And they offered me a position at a hospital, which would have been either Johns Hopkins or Inova or MedStar in Washington, D.C., to do my externship. But the externship would have been great because I could have got my certificate and got paid just like a regular job. And based on how I performed, they could offer me employment after I attained the certification. The problem that I had is with some other issues. I really didn't want to get into it, but because it's very in-depth, but there's no records of me going to Allegany County schools. That's been a problem. It's been a problem with me for any kind of job outside of low-wage jobs. Certain types of jobs where they do in-depth background checks for jobs, I was not considered because there was no record of a high school diploma for me or graduation. And I was told by a member at the Board of Education that the only thing that they had that showed that I graduated from Allegany High School was a program for the graduation commencement in 1979. So that's the problem I was having, and I came all the way up here from Savage, Maryland, which is in Howard County, to see if I could have a meeting with someone either on the board or with you, Mr. Dr. Martirano, about the situation, and the people that I spoke to at the Board of Education. It was not a very positive meeting with them. They were, one particular person in particular didn't say that I committed fraud, and I wasn't who I was, but basically said that it was not basically the attitude was it's not their problem. And I have a letter here that they sent me. If anybody would like to see it, I could show it to you now. This is from the Allegany County Public Schools, where it shows.
If we could, we will keep that, if perhaps a private meeting with Dr.
Yes.
Martirano.
Yes, but I would like to have a meeting with you in regards to what has happened and so forth, and like to move on to find out how this thing could be rectified, because right now, financially, I work low-wage jobs. I can't get certain types of jobs. When it comes to explaining how it is that I don't have a high school diploma or no graduation, it's very difficult, as you can imagine. So if that could be arranged, I can give you my number, email after the meeting if you'd like.
I'll be more than happy to meet with you and talk that through for you.
I appreciate that.
If you just wait here, when the
Yes.
meeting's over, I'll talk to you further.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other board member comments or responses to constituents? Okay, thank you all. Moving into new business, voting to approve the draft budget priorities. Is there a motion regarding the budget priorities?
So moved. Excuse me. Motion to motion to adopt the FY27 draft budget priorities as our official priorities.
Motion by Mr. Green, a second.
Second.
Second by Dr. Bond. Are there any other questions or comments regarding the priorities? Okay, all those in favor? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Our student member of the board, Miss Israel, could not be with us this evening, so we hope to see her next month. And at this time, are there any other board member updates?
I have a few. Thank you very much. I have two updates. I will make them as short as possible. The first one is about just a really wonderful event that I got to take part in last month. I want to take a moment tonight to recognize the nearly 200 local students representing 30 teams from 10 elementary middle schools who recently participated in the Allegany County First LEGO League qualifier held on January 17th at Allegany College of Maryland. Through the leadership of REACT, which is a nonprofit that helps to organize this event, and with the support of more than 50 volunteers, many of them being students or employees of the school system, myself included, and coaches and parents and so many community partners, including ACM, ACPS, Appalachian Regional Commission, the Hampton Inn, and the LaVale Lions Club, our community delivered a truly exceptional learning experience for our students. Over the course of the season, students built far more than robots. They developed teamwork, problem solving, creativity, communication, and analytical thinking skills, skills that matter in school, that matter in careers, that matter in our lives. And it's just an incredible example of authentic hands-on learning at its best. So I want to take one moment just to congratulate the 4 local teams that are ACPS teams who are moving on. Actually, excuse me, one of them is not an ACPS team, but nonetheless, Allegheny County teams moving on to the Maryland First LEGO League State Championships, which will be held on February 21st at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Those were the Frostburg Mountain Movers from Mount Savage Middle School, We Love Dirt from Bishop Walsh School, the React Lego Eggos from Braddock Middle School. I think there's somebody up here has a connection to that team, and the West Side Rock and Robots from West Side Elementary School. So first, I just want to give a round of applause to those students and their teams. And a bunch of other teams were recognized with awards and otherwise at that event. These programs really show what's possible when our schools, our families, our community come together to invest in our students. So again, I just want to thank everyone who made that event possible and congratulate those students for their skill, creativity, and pride. Moving on to something less exciting, one of the roles I serve on as a board member is the Local Advisory Council for Career and Technical Education. Last week, we had our January meeting of that council. We were pleased to have presentations from Allegheny County Sheriff's Office on their current support of law enforcement programs at both ACM and ACPS, as well as an overview of employment data for the area. We also heard updates on the massage therapy program at ACM and the cosmetology program offered at the Career Center. Finally, we began our work to examine the comprehensive local needs assessment and setting goals for the next year, which directly influences priorities for Perkins funding, among others. I expect that we'll continue that work into March and just wanted to provide an update on that involvement. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Any other board member updates? Ms. Lepley?
And this is just the yearly reminder that the legislative session has begun, and there are lots of bills that pertain to education every year, and all members of the community can testify for or against any bill that's proposed, and you can do that in person, you can write letters, emails, and you can do it virtually. And as Mr. McKenzie said, there's not much going on in education so far, so I might have more of an update for next month. And I also want to recognize my kids go to Northeast Elementary School, and the community school coordinator there, Ms. Jordan Green, is doing an amazing job with different activities to get students involved. And I know all the other schools are doing this, but this is the one I'm most familiar with. And they had a Christmas dinner and craft party. And I think it's Thursday night we get to go to a Valentine's Day dinner and mystery theater. So I just wanted to give her some recognition and all of the other coordinators that are doing an amazing job.
Thank you, Mrs. Lepley. Anyone else? Just a little bit of housekeeping. We will have a little bit of a schedule change for our summer meetings. We will be moving our June meeting a week later to Tuesday, June 16th. July is a tentative meeting, and the August meeting is due to change. I don't have the date in front of me. We'll announce that as we get closer to the time again, but June will be moved to June 16th. And a motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn.
Ms. Lepley, a second. Mrs. Widmeyer, all in favor? Thank you all. Have a good evening.